In the next 30 minutes on the marketplace, some major oil marketing companies begin responding to the 8% reduction in the National Petroleum Levy following a meeting with stakeholders with the Energy Minister yesterday. But transport operators are yet to proceed, how to proceed with the increase in transport fares regardless of this development.
Even if the rollout tomorrow's meeting ends out that we should adjust the margin that we want, we will not be able to go up to the 2030 that you are mentioning.
Also, Ghana moves to tap into $1 trillion global green bond market as Securities and Exchange Commission partners the IFC for development of guidelines locally. And Tullow to commence the exploration of oil, exporting of oil actually, from new wells from July, as it highlights about $19 billion investment on the Jubilee and 10 fields by partners. We have all these coming up shortly after this break this day. Hello and welcome. Some of the major oil marketing companies have started responding to the 8% reduction in the National Petroleum Levy on fuel. GOIL, one of the major players in the industry, is selling a liter of diesel and petrol at 6 cedis, 5, that's 5 pesos, 6 cedis, 5 pesos GOIL. That's lower than the 6 cedis, 13 pesos put out by other major players, that is Shell and Total. It is not clear for now whether GOIL's action could force other players to adjust their prices again. Meanwhile, the transport operators insist that despite the about 8% reduction in margins of fuel levies by the NPA from earlier 17 pesos, transport fares must still go up. Godfred Abobre is the General Secretary of the Ghana Private Road Transport Union.
What we are saying is that the factors that we had considered earlier, before the recent another fuel hike, we are saying that we will revert back to the meeting tomorrow with the Transport Ministry, and then to decide as to the margin of increment that we are going to set on our fares. We will do all these ones. What will actually be the best of business for our members? And I am saying this for the fact that even if the rollout tomorrow's meeting ends out that we should adjust the margin that we want, we will not be able to go up to the 2030 that you are mentioning. Our limits might be 10 or 15. See, we are looking at a very possible margin that our customers, which is the final end consumer of any type of loan fare, will be comfortable. And then that will put us in business. If we just decide to increase by 40%, and we know that that will affect our passenger turnout to our various terminals, we will not do that.
Well,
so the tomorrow's meeting, yes, will come out with a margin. Don't expect anything between more than 10-15%. That's, going beyond that, we will not go beyond that. Because of that, we have gone to do this stakeholder consultation, and tomorrow morning, it's GPSU and then GRCC will be holding a joint meeting tomorrow early morning before we proceed to the meeting with the Transport Ministry. And why is because we think we should not be speaking from different voices. And then the margin at the tail end is just to benefit all the transport members of the transport industry. So we will hold a joint meeting tomorrow early morning before we proceed to the meeting with the ministry around 11 o'clock. So we will be doing what will please our members.
Operators are able to secure government approval for the proposed increase in fares, then implementation is expected to take off from tomorrow. We shall be keeping an eye on this to give you updates as and when. But to other stories, Tullow Oil has indicated that it hopes to commence exporting oil from its new well drillings from the third quarter of this year. Now, the oil exploration firm this year started drilling on these wells, a move that is expected to improve total production from the field and help turn around its dwindling fortunes. Wasam Al-Montiti is Managing Director of Tullow Oil.
Since the failure in 2015, we commissioned, alongside our partners in the government of Ghana, the Jubilee Turret Restoration Project, a one-of-a-kind, highly technically complex project that took almost 5 years to complete. And last year, we were able to call that project complete, and as they say, draw a line under what was a challenging period, but very much opened the door to a fantastic future for stable, reliable production on Jubilee. And 2020 was a really good example of the ability to deliver safe, reliable, predictable production and revenues for the country.
What would this mean for your operations going forward? Looking at how the turret bearing challenge impacted on production badly, it couldn't predict, and sometimes you were forced to do emergency shutdowns and all the rest. Now that you've brought that work or that challenge to a close, what would this mean to your production and exploration activities going forward?
Completing the turret restoration project allows, alongside other things, is the opening of the door to a future investment program on Jubilee and 10 here in Ghana. And we're very excited about that. We've communicated plans around it, and I can tell you a lot more about our future plans in Ghana if that's something you'd like.
How are things going with this drilling works, and when are you hoping that it could be ready for export of commercial oil from these new wells?
Yeah, so the drilling program and the drilling campaign is a core part of the Ghana Value Maximization Plan, the 10-year program targeting $4.4 billion worth of investment. That's really underpinned by the fact that only about 13%, we believe, of the reserves in Jubilee and 10 have already been produced. Only 1/3. So there's a lot of oil and gas to play for. We have our eyes set on over 550 million barrels of oil available to be produced, which is discovered, and this investment's targets getting that oil and gas out of the ground. You mentioned the first well. The drilling on that is ongoing now. It's part of a 50 well drilling program over the next 10 years, which will also bring in additional infrastructure investment. So all that is very exciting, but it all starts with the first well. So based on current plans, we should see first oil from the first well sometime in the latter part of July of this year. And then soon after, subsequent wells. The program in 2021 has 4 wells as part of it. And roughly speaking, that'll be the 4 to 5 well average will be the annual average of new wells coming online as part of the drilling within the value maximization plan for Tullow Ghana.
So, Mohammed, I mean, what would this mean for the whole production targets and even your fortunes as well? COVID had a little bit of a dip on you with these new wells coming on board. And I'm just hearing from you that so far you've been just 13% of the deposit. I mean, there's a lot there. What would this mean for your fortunes going forward? And do you think that it is time to also drill very fast so that you can get more oil whilst the prices are going up on the international market to make some good gains on your bottom line?
Well, George, the lack of consistent drilling over the history has been notable on Jubilee and 10. There's been lots of reasons for it, but the bigger benefit it offers, it gives us a good line of sight and a forward runway on future drilling, being a significant unlocker of value. So our program for drilling going forward emphasizes safety and reliability and simplicity. Those are the 3 tenets of the drilling program. We intend to drill those 50 wells as safe and reliably as possible, and also within top-tier benchmarks. So the 4 to 5 well average would be a significant achievement. These are long, expensive, complex, deep water wells. Our focus is to improve, and our intent to drill 4 to 5 wells a year really meets that aspiration of being a top-tier driller, and then importantly bringing those wells online into the FPSOs.
Mm-hmm. Do you see so much pressure on you as one of the significant players in the group looking at what has happened to you over the years, that you might have to be racing against time to contribute more to help turn around the fortunes of the group?
Well, I think we feel a lot of responsibility, George. It's more responsibility that we feel, because we know we've been entrusted with the resources of the country here in Ghana. We know that there's a lot of them, which is a good problem to solve, but at the same time, we have to be responsible in being a safe, reliable operator, and one that carries the right environmental and government relations stewardship with it. So that's our focus, to be perfectly honest with you. We've learned the lessons of the past. That's very important, but we want to take that forward to success going forward.
Meanwhile, Tullow Oil, together with partners, have invested over $19 billion on the Jubilee field in terms of infrastructure projects and $6 billion in terms of direct revenue to government. Still on oil and gas-related matters, the head of corporate communications at the Ghana East, Ernest Owusu-Bempah, has dismissed claims that the current challenges being experienced in some parts of the country is doomsday. He also dismisses reports in a section of the media to the effect that some faulty compressors at the company's installations at the Takoradi Regulatory and Metering Station are the reasons for the power generation deficits and outages being experienced in the country in recent times. There is more in this report.
According to him, the report is a desperate attempt to impress on the minds of Ghanaians that doomsday has resurfaced. In a press briefing at Takoradi, Mr. Owusu-Bempah said the power outages being experienced in some parts of the country have nothing to do with Ghana Gas.
What I would say is that Ghana Gas has got nothing to do with what is going on. It's just an activity of maintenance going on within the grid-co end of the value chain. And people should understand that gas is flowing consistently. Gas is flowing consistently for power production. We are doing more than enough for power generation. And we've done a lot to make sure that power is stable in the country as far as we're concerned, our end of the activity. So I think that recently there was a press statement that was issued in connection with compressor, in connection with Ghana Gas. It is not true, and I will say that all our compressors are functioning, and we are working to make sure that we give Volta River Authority the necessary gas for power production, and also the car power project that we have, which is giving us about 450 megawatts of electricity. So Ghana Gas as an entity, we've been doing what we can consistently to produce gas for power generation.
Meanwhile, the company has unveiled a project dubbed Turn a Page with the aim of inculcating reading habits among children between the ages of 6 to 15 years. The Turn a Page is a literacy project, he said, has become necessary following a research conducted by the Ghana Education Service in 2012, which suggests that only 2% of children in primary 2 can read proficiently, while 50% of the people assessed could not pronounce a single English or Ghanaian word correctly.
Recent research conducted by Ghana Education Service, GES, in 2012 also revealed that 2% of children in primary 2 could read proficiently. The report further indicated that 50% of the public pupil could not pronounce a simple English or Ghanaian word correctly. In summary, only 35% of basic school children are proficient in reading. In this light, that Corporate Communication Department of Ghana Gas, in consultation with Ghana Education Service, Ministry of Education, National Council for Curriculum and Assessment, wish to launch a Turn a Page program to encourage reading among children and support the global effort to fight illiteracy. The rationale behind the Turn a Page project is to prevent another generation from being stuck in a cycle of illiteracy, especially in the community where Ghana Gas operate, the western part of the country.
For Joy Business, in Athalia Kwanzaa, Western Region.
Ghana is taking steps to tap into the about $1 trillion global fund and support environmentally friendly projects in the country. To this end, the Securities and Exchange Commission has secured support from the private sector arm of the World Bank IFC to develop a framework to guide these investments into Ghana. Reverend Untitled has been talking about how this could support the market and entire economy.
Typically, you find that green bonds can be used to fund green buildings, clean transportation, renewable energy, sustainable water, and these are all very important things. So issuers who are able to raise money from green bonds would be able to achieve their goals by investing in ways that align with their values when it comes to the environment and then the climate. Now, what this also would mean in terms of the economy is that, for instance, if these projects, whether it's green buildings or it's energy, renewable energy, or water, or clean transportation, you'll find that it will help to close the infrastructure gap, which is a challenge in many developing countries, including Ghana. So again, the benefit of the green bond is that it will help to close the infrastructure deficit. And not only that, it will also mean that jobs will be created. So if you look at it critically, the issuance of green bonds in Ghana would result in a win-win situation for all.
You're still watching The Marketplace. There is tension brewing at retail market centers across Kaswa in the central region. That's according to the Ghana Union of Traders Association, whose members say that the foreigners took advantage of the break in the operations of the committee tasked to close the retail shops of undocumented foreign retailers. Dr. Joseph Obin is president of GUTA, and he joins us via Zoom for a discussion on this. Dr. Obin, we're so grateful that he joined us. This particular letter to the motherboard of GUTA was from the Kaswa branch. Has this come to your notice, the fact that the retail traders there feel that these foreigners have infiltrated the market, and this could brew into some security overlaps in the future?
Yes, we had an ongoing program, and then they were expecting that the task force that the government has set will come to their areas. So they reached Abusokai, and then the exercise was stopped because of the election and for other reasons. We were not undertaking this exercise. But recently, you see that the Nigerians have also come around petitioning the president to open the shops for them. And this has rather even agitated those sectors that have not been closed. And so they have been complaining to the leadership that we should make sure that the task force starts working again, or they will advise themselves. And so we are in the known, and then we have been trying to preventing them from taking the laws into their own hands. But from what is going on, because if our intelligence tells us that Kaswa Central Region and other areas like Kumasi and Ashaman, they are all bracing out for action.
Well, so of course, this is a matter of concern to GUTA and to yourself as the president, but it begs the question. These foreigners are renting out the shops that most of these locals say are being infiltrated upon. Where lies the law here? Because we do know that the laws on retail trade is applicable to retail markets across board. So how are they infiltrating the market? Help us with this particular issue.
Yeah, now the law is so clear, and then they've come to realization that they have to quit the market areas. They are still insisting that because probably they got a false hope from the visitation of their Speaker of Parliament, that maybe because the promise of the friendship and all that. And that's what they are holding on to stay. Otherwise, by now they know that they don't have any. We want on our efforts to let government know that they have to continue the exercise. And so that's what we are doing. Tomorrow we have an emergency meeting to this effect, and we make sure that the task force resumes its work, because we have so many unfinished business, and then they don't have any right to be there. We are talking about the law, and that the law needs to be enforced. The laws on ECOWAS protocol is so clear, and they now understand what they can do when they sell their own, the goods that are made in their home country. Right. They have every right to be doing the business. So we are talking about the law, the legitimacy or otherwise of them continuing their business is long overdue. Yeah.
Great. President of GUSA, we're so grateful, Dr. Joseph Obeng. We shall keep an eye on that particular emergency meeting that you will be holding tomorrow to give our viewers and listeners updates as and when. He's been speaking on the recent brewing retail feud at Kaswa, where indigents say that foreigners are taking over their shops. Away from that, the Ministry of Works and Housing is attempting to meet government affordable housing projects. We have details on this one after a short break. Do stay. And welcome back to the Marketplace. We shall bring you that earlier story we previewed for you in the subsequent bulletins. But in today's edition of Money Lab, the CEO of First Finance Company, Gloria Akoto, talks about specialty funds and investments.
Hello, welcome to Money Lab. On today's edition, we will be looking at specialty funds as a type of collective investment scheme. These are funds that exclusively focus on a specific industry or sector, or they focus on a specific region of the world. An example of a specialty fund can be a fund that focuses on the energy sector or the agri sector. It could also focus on either a specific region such as Africa or Europe. These funds appeal more to investors who want to direct their investments at a specific industry or region of the world. Join us on our next episode as we look at index fund and conclude our discussion on collective investment schemes.
And that's how we end the Marketplace. My name is Charles Aite. For more news, do log on to myjoyonline.com/business. Many thanks once again. Enjoy the rest of our programs.